Welcome back to the Weekly Sportscast with your hosts, Jake Gould and Brandon Skinner. Today's episode, we're going to discuss some of the biggest free agent and trade moves and wrap up NBA free agency.
This week's episode is brought to you by the Achilles heel of the NBA, DeMarcus Cousins. Let's get into it. Well, Brandon and I just had to endure my Brooklyn Nets going 0-5 over Summer League. What about you?
Yeah, my Magic didn't do much better. Although Mo Bamba is the best player in the draft behind Trae Young. No, actually, in all honesty, Trae Young sucks. But Mo Bamba did play pretty well, given the Magic suck. So, he played good. I'm excited for the future of what he's doing. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
I just want to know what you're going to do with that front court rotation, because you have Gordon, Isaac, and Bamba who all need to play, but none of them are small forward.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking the Magic are going to go from about 20 to 25 wins this year. So, the front court rotation, we need to clear it out. I think Vucevic, while I love the man, he's older than both Isaac and Bamba, and I think he needs to take a backseat and let the young talent develop, because both of them, Isaac and Bamba, are long, big guys that can play in the front court and are the future of the Magic organization more than Vucevic is, even though I love the man. And I think we should trade him for, hopefully in next offseason, for a point guard that we can move forward with, other than who we have, DJ Augustine, who, I love him too, but he's not that good.
Well, this is the last year of Vucevic's contract, so you better make a move soon.
Yeah, I haven't been too pleased with the Magic front office so far, but we did get rid of Bismack Biyombo, which is good. He's
brought in my boy Mozgov.
The boy Mozgov. He's I don't know if he's a step up from Biyombo, but Biyombo had a ridiculous contract that we were paying him way more than he was worth. So that was one good move that the Magic have done, and drafting Mo Bamba was another great move. But
Mozgov contract is a lot worse. But anyway, enough with loving the Orlando Magic organization. Let's talk the Boogie Bomb.
The Boogie Bomb. We're not talking about
We're a little late. I'm sorry, but as you all know, DeMarcus Cousins, 1 year, $5.3 million. Deron Williams, the Brooklyn Nets ex-point guard who's not on the roster, is making more than DeMarcus Cousins this season. What went wrong?
I don't know if
what went wrong?
I don't know if anything went wrong. If you didn't hate the Warriors before, this is a great reason to hate them now, because they're gonna have if everyone stays healthy and everyone on their rotation is good for the playoffs, they're gonna have a starting lineup of 5 All-Stars coming into the playoffs and throughout the regular season. So this is no doubt the most talented team ever assembled in the NBA outside of an All-Star game, and this is it's kind of disgusting. I'm not super excited to watch this NBA season, because while it's going to be fun to watch the best team ever assembled play on the court, it's not going to be fun because if they stay healthy, they're just going to run through the entire league and win the championship, no doubt. So, but
5 All-Stars on 5 starting All-Stars doesn't always work. Just ask the 2013 Brooklyn Nets. But I think there is hope in Boston, because I think that team is 5 past, present, and future All-Stars. So we'll see what happens when Boston does something.
Yeah, Boston, they're a good team. I think they're going to come out of the Eastern Conference even after the Kawhi trade, which we'll get into later. But I think they are the biggest challengers right now to the Warriors. I think in a year or two, it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be the next biggest challengers to the Warriors with LeBron James, and he's been the only guy that can really stop this Warriors dynasty in the recent years. But yeah, like you said, Boston is a good team. I like Al Horford. He's a Florida guy, and I like all the young talent they have around, and I like that they re-signed Marcus Smart. I think he's a really underrated part of that Boston team. He's a really good backup point guard and a really good bench player that ties that team together. So Boston is going to be the only challenger, I think, but I think right now it's going to be the Warriors will sweep them if they remain healthy. And I think it's sad that Boogie ended up on the Warriors, because what he said was that no one had offered him the contract that he thought he was worth, and they had offered him, or no one wanted him in their locker room, and then no one wanted to pick him. I don't know if I believe that.
All that's true.
I don't know if I believe that. I think that's a bunch of BS, but I think he was ring chasing, and he got on the Warriors team for a very much less than he's worth right now in the prime of his career, and so I think it's a lot of BS, and I'm kind of disgusted at what DeMarcus Cousins did. Honestly,
I mean, I don't blame him because it's a good place for him.
Yeah,
to be able to recover because he's not going to pressure to play immediately. But still, it just sucks, man.
I don't blame the guy. I mean, you sign up for that and you get a free ring, and you get the free ring, and that's all he was going for. I believe he was like Nick Young last year, just going there for the to play.
Don't disrespect Swaggy.
I mean, I love Swaggy, but he was not important to that team, and he could have sat on the bench all year, and they still would have won the whole thing. So he's just going for the ring, and we all get that. But I guess if I was in the same position as DeMarcus Cousins and the Warriors offered me that contract, I would go there too. And if I was the Warriors and DeMarcus Cousins accepted that contract, I would have him on the team too. So I don't love it, I can't blame him. But something that I can't.
Well, let's see how he comes back, because Achilles injury is one of the worst things to come back from your professional sports career. So we'll see if he's even 50% the same player he is. But even so, 50% of him, that's still
better than Zaza Pachulia and JaVale McGee. So,
That's very true.
Yeah, but I think with DeMarcus's game, I think he can recover a lot better from an Achilles than a lot of people could, because he doesn't rely as much on his athleticism as a lot of people do. As a guy like Anthony Davis, who's always catching lobs and dunking, and while DeMarcus does that, his game is a lot more finesse and a lot more jump shooting than Anthony Davis's game is. So I think that he can have a much more successful post-injury production than people give him credit for.
Correct. He may have to resort to the Brook Lopez method of just being a big that shoots threes and doesn't get any boards. But hey, Brook's on the Bucks now, so he gets to shoot for a ring too. Yeah,
the Bucks could also come out of the East. They made some good offseason moves aside from losing Jabari Parker to the Chicago Bulls. They got.
I really think the East is a lot better than people are talking about, because you got, of course, the big powerhouses in Boston, Toronto, which we'll talk about later, and Philly. The Pacers, I really think the Pacers are going to be amazing this year. They made a bunch of under-the-radar moves.
I think so, too.
They can make some damage. The Wizards, if they don't burn down their locker room, could also do some damage. And, hey, Giannis for MVP. 30 points a game. Let's see him get the second, third seed in the East.
Yeah, I agree. I think the East has some interesting teams. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting to watch than the Western Conference is, because there's not that big a gap between Boston and a team like Milwaukee or a team like Indiana. There's a much larger gap between the Warriors and the Timberwolves than there is between the Celtics and the Bucks. So it's going to be a lot more interesting. The Celtics and the Bucks went to 7 games last year in the playoffs in the first round, so I'm excited to watch that. But talking about a team in the Eastern Conference, your Brooklyn Nets made the trade of
Brooklyn. Let me hear you sing that we got a first-round pick from a team that may not make the playoffs. My Brooklyn Nets got rid of the beloved ticket seller Jeremy Lin, dumped into the Atlanta Hawks for a swap of second-rounders and a second-rounder in 2052, which enabled us to take on the massive but expiring contracts of Kenneth Faried and Daryl Arthur from the Denver Nuggets in return for a first-rounder, a second-rounder. Now all you do is give up Isaiah Whitehead, a Brooklyn boy who just got waived by the Nuggets. But this opens up so many possibilities. First of all, it really helped fill out our roster, because Faried and Arthur will be able to help our team as bigs that can rebound, and Arthur can shoot. Darrell Arthur can shoot the 3-2, which kind of fills a need for a stretch four. But more importantly, it gives us even more flexibility when creating the coveted 2 max slots for next offseason.
Oh, baby.
And we have 2 first-rounders.
Oh, baby.
And that entire era of Billy King, we gave away all of our first-rounders. Now we have 2 in the first year.
Oh, baby.
I'm so hyped for the future of this team.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with everything that Sean Marks has been doing. This is just another step in the great direction. I cannot believe we finessed the Hawks into taking Lin for peanuts. And Brooklyn Grit, baby, let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna jump the gun, but there could be a dynasty in Brooklyn very soon. They said with 2...
I love that phrase.
2 max contracts next year, they could potentially sign Kawhi Leonard, or DeMarcus Cousins, all these people that have expiring contracts.
I don't want Boogie.
Kyrie Irving.
I want Tobias Harris and one. I love Tobias.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's a French All-Star. I want Tobias Harris and one of Jimmy, Kyrie, or Kawhi.
Jimmy Butler.
Slot them in next to D'Lo and Jared Allen and then championship team.
And then draft Zion Williamson and somebody else.
Move up, take our 2 first rounds, move up number 1 draft Sharif. Let's go.
Oh, baby. That'd be sweet. But you have to watch out for the Magic because they're a raw team too. Don't sleep.
Of course. See you in the Eastern Conference in 2 years.
Yeah, but what do you think about that Nets trade? Or that Lin trade. Actually, you said it was a good trade, but I thought Jeremy Lin produced really well for that Nets team when he wasn't injured on the bench.
Jeremy Lin played less than 40 games over 2 seasons combined for Brooklyn. I mean, he was a great veteran leader. When on the court, he did great things. Like, when he came back after the All-Star break in 16-17, we won like 15 games in that stretch or something crazy. But the thing is, he wasn't able to stay healthy. He would have taken away minutes from D'Lo and LeVert and did what the guys needed to develop. And I'm glad we were able to use his roster spot to sign a young guy in a flyer like Shabazz Napier, who we nabbed from the Portland Trail Blazers.
Oh, Shabazz Napier. I used to love that guy in college. He was like the Steph Curry after Steph Curry was Steph Curry. But he kind of sucks in the NBA.
Yeah, he was an MVP in college.
Yeah.
And
he led the UConn Huskies to a national championship run after Kemba did it.
Correct, yeah. He had a little bit of shaky start at the beginning of his NBA career, but last year he averaged like 9-5. Let's shot up to like 15-6 when he started. And he proved that he can shoot, catch, and shoot threes. You know Brooklyn loves their 3-ball. He can play off the ball, which will be big because we have guys like Dinwiddie and D'Lo and LeVert that can all play at the 1 and that all need guys to pass to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Overall, the Nets made a good trade. Definitely, they made. And again, going to another team in the Eastern Conference, let's move along to the Kawhi Leonard trade. I don't know about this pick. So, as you may know, the Toronto Raptors traded for Kawhi Leonard, and the San Antonio Spurs sent Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green to the Raptors, and in exchange, they got Jakob Poeltl, DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, DeMar DeRozan, and a 2019 first-round pick. So, my first impressions of this trade were that I think the Raptors are going to give it one final run with this current roster as it's assembled before they blow it up. This past season, they played very well in the regular season before getting swept in the playoffs by LeBron James, and I think that if you upgrade your best player position as DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard is an obvious upgrade, and Danny Green is a really solid NBA player. He's a 3-and-D guy, and I think that they're going to give
defender.
They're going to, I think it was all-NBA first or second team this past year, and he usually is on that first defensive team. And so I think that the Raptors are going to give it one final shot with this roster, and if it doesn't work this year, then they're going to blow it up. They're going to start the rebuild and just try to rebuild something, and they're basically rinsing Kawhi and trying to just give it one last shot with this roster, as I said.
Yeah, that's been the Raptors GM plan for a while. He took over in the early 2010s. He wanted to rebuild then, trade away Lowry and DeRozan, but then he gave Dwayne Casey his best shot to be able to take him to the finals. Obviously didn't happen because some guy named LeBron James existed.
Yeah.
But it shows, this is like, I feel bad for DeRozan. The guy has depression. He loves Toronto. He signed there without meeting anybody else. Gave his heart out to the city. Probably the best Raptor ever. He definitely surpassed Vince Carter due to his loyalty and his on-the-court statistics. And they got traded for a guy that may not even play. Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't like Toronto. He doesn't like the cold. Well, he may not want to play there. Some reports have said he may be warming up to Toronto, pun intended. But, the Raptors are just, as you said, they want to make one last run. They're hoping they can pull a Paul George and convince Kawhi to re-sign in Toronto. I don't know how likely that is due to Kawhi. Well, first of all, Kawhi's a much better player than PG-13.
Ooh, hot take.
And that's not a hot take at all. And Kawhi's also very moody, as we've seen with this whole drama situation
so
unfold over the past year.
Yeah, he's weird.
I mean, this is a weird situation where as of right now, I really think both teams win this trade just because of how weird of a situation this was.
Yeah.
Because Kawhi wasn't going to play for San Antonio. So the Spurs get the two most underrated players who were underrated because they shoot mid-range jumpers, LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. So that's going to be a great offensive team and a mad defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
That will... Because Danny Green was one of their best defenders. Placing with DeRozan, who is a below-average defender. They lost Kyle Anderson, who is one of the best defenders in the league, to the Grizzlies. But, I mean, that offense is going to be amazing. That's going to be a top 4 seed in the West, probably. That probably diminishes the Nuggets or Tim's chances of making it back in there.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Raptors, they get to go to the Eastern Conference Finals if Kawhi plays.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think to me, I think the Spurs won this trade because I think DeMar DeRozan will play out the last years of his prime. I think he's 28, I think, or something like that. So I think he'll fall in love with San Antonio's system. And as long as Greg Popovich doesn't retire, I think he can get the best defense out of DeMar DeRozan that we've seen him play. I think that his offense is going to work really well with LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan in 2 All-Stars. So I think the last year the Spurs were the 7th seed. So I think there's only up to go from there. I think they'll be the 5th or the 4th seed, and they'll end up playing the Jazz or the Thunder in the first round and probably beating that team. So yeah, I'm excited. I think the Spurs.
Oh, not the Jazz.
They could probably beat the Jazz. Patty Mills can lock up Donovan Mitchell. Confirmed.
God forbid.
Patty Mills, the Thunder from down under. Yeah. So I do think that the Spurs won that trade, and while the Raptors are going to make, I think they're going to end up rebuilding.
There's a much greater. The Spurs, as of right now, won that trade, but in the end, if Kawhi stays in Toronto,
yeah, but he's not going to stay.
They gave up peanuts for Kawhi.
He's not going to stay.
First rounder that may not even be a first. That's what we said about Paul George. But now, because Paul George stayed, the Thunder won the trade. The same thing could happen with the Raptors.
Yeah, it could, but I doubt it. He might not even play.
Meet you back here in a year. We'll see
what happens. Here in a year. Yeah, doubt it. I think Kawhi will leave, and he'll probably sign with the Nets.
I hope so.
Oh, he probably will.
His uncle and advisor, Uncle Dennis, is a great friend of Sean Marks.
I don't know why he has his uncle as his advisor. Kawhi is a weird dude. He's a superstar in this league, dude. And he's in the middle of his prime, and he's sitting out seasons and not playing for the best coach and the best system ever, with a chance to make the Western Conference Finals last year. Because I think if Kawhi's on the team,
he also lost like $40 million in contract money.
Yeah, he's
the Spurs
just stupid.
could offer him like $220. Now the Raptors can offer him like $180 next year, but the Lakers will only be able to offer him $140. So
yeah, he's just a weird dude. I think if Kawhi plays last year for the Spurs, they're a top 4 seed, and they maybe go to the Western Conference Finals to play the Warriors.
With the resurgence of LaMarcus Aldridge this year, they definitely would have been the 3rd or 4th seed.
Yeah,
Trailblazers were not a good team.
Yeah, they weren't that good. They got swept.
Remember, there was a 1-game difference between the 3rd seed Trailblazers and the 9th seed Nuggets in the Western Conference this year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, I think I like DeMar DeRozan just because he'll play for a team, he'll actually get on the court and play basketball. And
he's loyal.
He's loyal. He's a good dude. And I don't know much about Jakob Poeltl, whatever his name is.
Jakob Poeltl, he's a young European center.
Jakob Poeltl.
He's just another new toy for Pop. Pop's going to love developing him. He may start at center for them because Pau Gasol's like 55.
Pau Gasol's raw though. Like he's still good.
He is. I love Pau, yeah, but he's old.
Yeah, and the Spurs have DeJounte Murray still back, who I think is a very underrated young point guard or shooting guard, whoever he is. He's something. But
expect DeJounte Murray to contend for the MIP next year.
The MIP? Ooh, hot take.
If D'Lo doesn't get it, of course. I'm really hoping that the Nets can surprise people by getting an A seed and with D'Lo having an MIP season like Oladipo did.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a far-fetched lust for me.
That's not a far-fetched. They could do it.
I know. I just don't want to get high hopes.
Yeah, don't get high hopes because they might get crushed. But I think the rebuild for Brooklyn is definitely headed in the right direction. And now, next offseason when they sign Bartolo Colon, it's just going to be over. Oh, he's a stretch four that the team needs.
That's true. I do hope Bart wins a ring, though.
Bartolo? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers
ain't going nowhere. He should be traded. He could be a fourth or fifth starter for all these teams that are talking about trading for J. Happ or Cole Hamels. Or, you know about baseball. Never mind. Some people will get that.
Yeah, I don't know about baseball. So
we're talking basketball now.
We're talking the NBA. We got one more trade.
One that just went down 2-3 hours ago.
All right, tell me about it, Jake.
The hood god himself, Carmelo Anthony. Stay mellow.
All right.
The Nets are thinking about trading him for Lynn and buying him out. Instead, it's the Hawks with their inept GM that does it. It turned out to be a 3-person trade. The Thunder, they got Dennis Schroeder.
God bless America.
And gave away Melo in the first. Melo's going to be bought out by the Hawks.
And then he's going to sign with the Rockets.
Rockets or Lakers or Heat, yeah. He has to be one of his banana boys.
I think I'd be down with him to sign with the Heat, actually. Because the Heat...
Oh, yeah.
Goran Dragic, Carmelo Anthony, and Hassan Whiteside, that's a big 3, if I've ever seen one before.
That's a big overrated 3, that's right.
You sleep.
The Sixers also got involved. The Sixers got Mike Muscala from the Hawks. They gave away Timothy Luau Cabarro to the Thunder and gave Justin Anderson to the Hawks, too.
Yeah. I think...
And, yeah, glad Melo got traded. It's good for the Thunder. It's good for Melo. It's good for whoever signs Melo. He'll be a great spark plug off the bench if he can swallow his ego under that hood.
Yeah, I think this was a stupid trade for the Atlanta Hawks. I think...
Amen. I'm very glad I'm not a Hawks fan.
Yeah, me too. At Sam Woods. But I think that I don't know why the front office would trade away the best player on their team right now, the Atlanta Hawks, Dennis Schroeder. He's like 24, and he's the only player on their team that doesn't suck. And so I don't know why they would trade him away. I know they drafted Trae Young, but I don't think Trae Young's...
Well, that's why.
I don't think he's NBA ready yet. His body's not ready. His mindset's not ready. I don't think
it either, but...
His hairline's not ready.
That's why the Hawks drafted him.
To rebuild?
They're inept.
They're stupid.
Correct. That's why they drafted him. That's why they traded him in the first for Doncic, who's going to be the best player from this draft.
Oh, whoa. Mobamba.
Besides Giannis Musa, of course.
Yeah, but
I mean, Schroeder also has a bunch of legal issues going on.
Yeah, but he's good at basketball.
He said a number of times in the offseason that he wants to be on a winning team. So watch out, Dennis Schroeder is going to be competing with Spencer Dinwiddie for 6th Man of the Year. Can't wait to see that battle go down.
Oh, baby. It's good for the Thunder, though. They got Dennis Schroeder for what? They gave away a first-round pick and Carmelo. Thank God they got rid of Carmelo and his whack.
They got rid of Melo. That saved them like $100 million.
I know. Melo's just... Oh, my gosh. They did good. They're the winners of this trade. And they get Dennis Schroeder, who's definitely an upgrade at backup point guard. I don't know who they had. Raymond Felton?
Raymond Thicton, that's right, yeah.
Oh, and Raymond Thicton, the
Dennis
thickest
Schroeder
man.
and Raymond Felton about to be the best backup backcourt in the league.
Oh yes, they are. But I definitely think that the Hawks made a stupid trade. I guess they're trying to rebuild around Trae Young, which is not going to work because he's just bad.
Trae Young, John Collins, Taurean Prince.
John Collins is good, and Taurean Prince is okay, but Trae Young is not.
I like John, I love Taurean, I don't like Trae.
I don't like Trae either. I think he's a great value brand. Steph Curry, if that. I think Seth Curry could baby him, but I don't...
He looks like a guy that got bullied so hard in high school.
He probably did.
Just by, like, his facial features and, like, how he talks and, like, his facial hair, too. He's just, like... he had to get a swirly at one point in middle school.
His hair kind of looks like when you drop a lollipop on the carpet and you pick it back up. That's what his hair looks like. It's just like, it's not as bad as Andre Ingram's, but it's pretty bad.
He's on fire.
It's pretty bad. So the Hawks lost in this trade, definitely. And I think wherever Hoodie Melo signs, they're going to get a big ego that can't swallow it to play on the bench and just score. And I think it's just going to be a lot more hassle than it's worth. Kind of like a DeMarcus Cousins without the talent. What?
I think if he's with CP3 or Braun, one of his banana boys,
he'll
be like, Melo, come on. Kind of trash. Just get a bucket for us off the bench. I'll be like, all right, I got you.
If he signs with the Heat, then hopefully Eric Spoelstra can get some magic out of him. But I don't know.
Riley will beat his ass, I swear.
Hoodie Melo got a little chunky. He's almost getting to Raymond Felton level thickness. Oh my god, that'd be a thick boy.
Kyle Lowry level thickness.
Kyle Lowry's stupid thick.
I have one more piece of breaking news to report before we sign off this episode of the Weekly Sportscast. So Lou Williams is reportedly going to drop an album next month.
Oh, baby. You might hear one of those in our videos.
The album that never was is probably my second favorite athlete album after, of course,
Born to Ball. Oh, baby. And Big Diesel. Don't forget about that. Or Shaq Diesel or whatever.
Shaq Diesel won platinum, baby. You can't disrespect that name.
Oh, baby.
But in all seriousness, let's talk about the Clippers for a sec. What are they doing?
Rebuilding. They're rebuilding.
Not really.
They should be, because they suck.
They're stuck in mediocrity, and they just got worse because they swapped out DeAndre Jordan for Marcin Gortat.
Who sucks. Marcin Gortat is an average starting big man at best.
He is the most mediocre man in the league, I swear.
Yes, I agree.
I saw him once in Disney.
You saw him?
I saw Marcin Gortat at Disney once, yeah.
Really? That's cool. With his big old pointy mohawk?
Grade, so I didn't know who he was. He had, normal hair then.
Oh, baby.
But, yeah, my friend was like, hey, that's some basketball player. I was like, okay, I don't like sports.
Okay. I don't like sports.
I think it's in, a candy shop.
Oh, how the times have changed. Yeah, the Clippers, they're weird. I think, Lou Williams is still playing for them, right?
Yeah.
So
Doc Rivers is in the same boat as Pat Riley and Pop. We're just trying to get a bunch of random vets together and squeeze an ace seed out of them. But the Clips are in the Western Conference, so that ain't happening. Yeah,
they suck. Lob City's officially done, and they're going to have to start rebuilding very soon because they're going nowhere fast.
They had 2 first-rounders this year, so that helps on the draft of the 2 guards.
Yeah, that helps, definitely. I don't know.
You can't find a better mentor than Lou Williams. He's one of the best class acts in the league.
Yeah.
Class acts in the league.
Class acts. He willingly sits on the bench just so he can score 50 points a game. Oh, baby. What a gentleman. Chivalry is not dead.
Well, that about wraps up this episode of the Weekly Sportscast. Be sure to like, subscribe.
He hands it over to DeRozan. On the line.
Shoot us $1 on Venmo so we can get a microphone.
Hey, Jeremy Lamb's playing.
Yeah, thank you boys for your love and support. I'll catch you next week.
DeRozan.
All right, see y'all. Thanks.